Hey everybody, hello, 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 welcome, welcome. I'm Erin Reed from Erin Reed Makes, and I am so happy to see you here. There's so many amazing people that are already in the chat. So shout out where you're watching from. I would love to know where everybody is viewing all of us from. Hello, hello. I live in Austin, Texas, and it is freakishly hot right now. Oh my goodness, it is just bananas in terms of hotness. It is so gross. I'm supposed to go camping tomorrow night too in this heat. Oh, thank you, Joyce, for loving the printables. Making pattern paper is so fun. Now, just as a hint, if you're ever wanting to go in and kind of make your own digital prints and things, Canva is amazing. I have like the paid version, not just the free one, and that's where I go in and make a lot of my stuff. So it really makes it super easy to go and do that. But I tweak it and make it my own for sure. So just as a reminder of what my card looks like, I don't have my overhead camera set up right now because, I'm being lazy and it's full of stuff. So this is my card. It's a really cute fun fold where it opens and then it opens, and it's just super easy. So I was trying to give you a base for the card for the fun fold, and this one's just a little flippy flap. It's so simple. It's like a card within a card, and then you could have fun. And if you don't like my printables, I totally get it. I mean, they're fun, big, bright colors, and I did lots of patterns on here. I'm sure you have cardstock and you have pattern paper at home, and I'm sure you have some paper pads. I have a plethora of, giant paper pads right here. So that was the inspiration behind why I do these kinds of cards for these events, is because I want you to get the idea for how to do the card, just the base of the card. And then, yes, you can use my principle if you'd like to, but then you can also like, oh, well, I probably have some more of these card fronts that are in these paper packs, and I can cut one of those out, and they already have all the pattern papers and the solid color cardstocks that are in there. And so you can just take my concept for this fun fold, which is not even mine, it's been around for ages, and then utilize and get a whole bunch of cards done and use up your stash. That is the best part. So it is just a ton of fun to be able to, I don't know about you, but I get really giddy whenever I get to the point where I'm like, I've used that up and I feel like I have succeeded in using my supplies. Yes. What is my favorite way to use Canva as a card maker? Oh, I use Canva for all kinds of stuff. I go in, I'm a YouTuber, so I do all kinds of graphics for all my social media and for my thumbnails and things like that. But you can size the size of what you're trying to work in. So you can even do like a size for a normal sheet of cardstock. So I will open up a sheet of cardstock, and they even have a really fun ways that you can look up for like different color patterns and stuff. Usually I start with the focal point. So my focal point this time was, for this card, was the flowers. And then I'm going, okay, well, what would be a fun sentiment to add on top of the flower? So I didn't create the flower image, that was already there. And then I tweaked it. And then I have some card bases, right? Like the pattern paper. So I go in and I add in each one of these lines and do the dotted lines. And so then I match the colors to go with the project or the main focal point of the card that I'm trying to make. And then I'm like, okay, so now I've got my card colors. And it's really simple because it already tells you the colors. You just kind of pop them in. It's really nice. And then I was like, well, I want it kind of distressed. So they have all these filters you can put on top or other things that you can play around with. So it really is quite simple. It's just fun to play, it really is fun to use. Have I done a tutorial for using Canva with card making? I have done, not for card making, but I have done for some other summits, tutorials for how to create cute images, like taking an image that is there. Do I have it sitting in front of me? I have enough crap on my desk that I probably have it here. Oh, here it is. So I did this for another summit not too long ago, where it was it was for sublimation. And so it was how I took the cute little image of the pineapple and then turned it into my own by adding a few cute phrases and how to kind of build it all together. And we did a whole bunch of them. Here's another one, but this was for sublimation, but the concept's the same. So, here was another one that I did, just peachy. So, just kind of playing around with it and having fun with that. So, it's the nice thing about printables is the file is yours indefinitely once you've made it, and you can print it off as you need it. And it's whatever colors you're into at that moment, you can play with. So what printer do I recommend? I was rocking a Canon for a long, long time, and it died on me and I couldn't get it to come back to life. And so I looked up what was the best printer, and this was 3 years ago. I was actually doing my very first retreat, and I had made paper to go with my retreat. My retreat's coming up this summer, by the way, if you're interested in coming to my Makers Retreat. It's an in-person retreat, and then at the end of end of July, beginning of August, 14 people. We only have a couple of spots left. It's super fun. Anyway, so link is on my website, erinreedmakes.com. If you're interested, there's a virtual version coming in September. It's all on the website. I haven't posted about the virtual version yet, but just as a little side nod. So I was printing out a bunch of stuff, and I needed a new printer because the one I had died. Long story short, I got the EcoTank, and everybody, if you ask what's the best printer right now, is the EcoTank. Now, this is why I love it. I bought this printer. It's sitting over here. It is the Epson EcoTank 3850. And I had put in the ink. It comes with bottles. I might even have some. Hang on. Do I have any handy? Oh, I do. Here. Like the ink comes in these bottles, and there's a little bit left. So I got it 3 years ago. I printed for the first retreat, and not just for the in-person, but also for the virtual portion. All of the tutorial pages, the information pages, the pattern paper stuff this is different, but like the pattern papers we were using for one of the classes that I had principles. I was printing all kinds of stuff. That was retreat number 1. Then I did last year's retreat. So retreat number 2. I'm still on the same bottle of ink, and I have printed for family stuff. I've printed for all of my summits when I do principles, still on the same bottle of ink. I've only filled it once. We are now on year 3, and I'm getting ready it's finally at the point where I think I need to put in a refill. I have yet to put in a new refill, and it is like going strong. It is going strong. So long story short, the EcoTank, the Epson EcoTank. I have the Epson EcoTank 2800 I use for sublimation, so I can do sublimation prints with sublimation ink, and that one's a dedicated sublimation printer, and I absolutely love it. So what model is it? The one I have right here. You're going to see really gross stuff right now. So it's like literally right there, right there. It is the 3850. I got it 3 years ago because it was almost. It was like June 3 years ago. So 1 month more than us. Besides card making, what other crafts do I enjoy? Oh, anything that I can do that's fast, fun, and easy. Something that is like 30 minutes or less. And so that could be a whole lot of stuff. I love mixed media. I love playing in my art journals. I have sitting on my desk, because it's a mess, I have a whole bunch of stencil butter because I've been working on some projects. I mean, I've got lots of colors. The rest of them are behind me over there. I love sublimation. I love, like I said, mixed media, playing with stencils, and not just on a card, yes, on a card, but also like in art journals. I love air dry clay. I love cute kids crafts. Oh shoot, what else do I have just hanging around here? Easy jewelry stuff. Nothing that takes too terribly long. Resin's fun, especially when it's like quick resin or Jesmonite. Like I just started working a little bit with some Jesmonite stuff. That stuff is fun. Just doodling in my planners, playing with markers and doodles. That's always kinds of fun. So yeah, lots of fun stuff. That's what I enjoy doing. Anything that's just tickles my fancy at that moment. You know, card making can kind of be an overall, because you can do all kinds of fun stuff on a card, and it's nice and compact, and you can do fun folds, and you can do mixed media and cards, and you can do all kinds of cool stuff. What paper do I print my pattern paper on? I use the same paper for pretty much everything. I am a one-stop shop, and I don't have the ream in front of me, but it is the Neenah 110-pound cardstock. I get asked this question every single year, and I take the ream out and I stick my paper over here. It's the one that's got like the cylindrical canisters stacked on top of each other. I think it's like $20 for an entire ream. It's nice and thick, so you can really hear it. I use it for all my card bases. I use it for all of my printables. So this is another one that I'm working on right now that's got printables. That's coming in September. Or actually that one's in August. But yeah, it's nice and thick. I also use it to do my stamping and my coloring on. So when I'm working with all of my, there we go, right there. All my alcohol inks, I do my ink blending on it. Instead of having a little paper for this, a little paper for that, a little paper for this, I tend to just do the one, and I know I can use it for just about anything. And it cuts beautifully. I feel like it's got a nice, good heft. I can cut it on my electronic cutters. What was in this one? I think it was in this one. This was for another project. I like just to show you how well it cuts. Dun, dun, dun. So it's been inked and stuff, but this was cut on the electronic cutter, and it was like a stencil that I made. So, you know, this was for another class. This was the bonus page on there. So it's the Nina cardstock. Yeah, it's got the little stack tubs. And I want to say when I order it, I usually order 2 to 3 reams at a time. They're like 20 bucks a ream. Like, it's super affordable, and I feel like it's great quality. Here it is. I'm using it on stencil butter, you know, and it's just, it holds up great. I cannot scream enough how wonderful it is, and I've been using that paper for a long time. How big is my craft room? Does it live in more than one room? Yep. Shh, that's my little dirty secret. So yes, great question. So I actually have, like, this is my studio. You're going to see a little behind the scenes. I'm going to move the camera around. So this is my studio that I use for my filming. So it's like right next to here's the window. I'm in the main part of my house. So here's like part of my studio. And then I am here and I have my desk and I have all my storage below me. And you can see my overhead camera right there. And it goes just about there and it ends. And it goes all the way. So I have the calyx, not the calyx. This is the calyx going floor to ceiling. I have my desk straight down from here. Sorry, you're going to see that little hint of, we're playing around with the camera right now. So below here, I have tons of drawers. So I film here. That's why you're seeing all of the gadgets and gizmos as I'm moving around and all the cameras. So this is my main filming area. And I store all my stuff here. If you went straight behind the camera is where I sit down and I do all my editing. That's where my computer is. I have a little bit more storage around there. But yeah, I've got retreats that I have to pack all the kits for. I sell kits on my website. I have to store products for companies that we're going to do stuff down the line. When I come back from all my like Creativation or H&H or Creative World or Go Wild planner conferences, I have tons of swag, and then I pass those along to my YouTube members, or I do giveaways with a lot of the products that I get from all these conferences because I can't keep it all. Some of it I use because we're doing videos and we have collaborations going forward. But you know, I took over the downstairs spare bedroom and that is now my workroom, and I do card swaps, you know, 2 to 3 times a year. So that's where all the card swaps happen, and so they get stored there because there's not literally, like, this is my space, and then that's where my, oops, you can't see because there's a desk. Well, right there, you can barely see it. That's where my husband's desk is when he's home, and he's got his computer, and my camera's really, really wonky right now. There we go. So lots of fun. Where do you get your inspiration for all my digis? So sometimes it's just kind of a feeling, like, what am I feeling? I like cute. Sometimes it's a color that I'm aiming towards, and my camera is really stupid now because I've been playing around with it. Sorry about that. That's bugging me. So when I go in there, for instance, like for this card that we were doing for this class, I was like, I want something, because we're in spring. And I knew when you guys would be watching this, it would be like when all the flowers are out. So I wanted something that would kind of land with the time frame. And so I just started looking up, you know, flowers when I was in Canva. And I would go through all the different flowers that I saw, and then just like what spoke to me at that moment. So that's what inspired for this. When it comes to, sometimes it's just because I want something cute, you know, when it comes to a digital print. I like the cute, I like the kawaii look. But for this particular one, it was, okay, I knew we were going to be in May. I knew I wanted something kind of, you know, floral and pretty and calming and soothing. So that's the kind of the color scheme. Sometimes I'll take what's there and I'll go, I'm not really a fan of the color, but I like the image that's there. So I'll tweak the colors around. Sometimes I absolutely love the colors that are there. And then I will then build from the colors of the main focal image and kind of build from there. So I've been doing, you know, making my own printables and card bases and stuff for a while, and all the papers that go along with it. So I have kind of like this with the oval, like, and the stripes behind it. I have this built as a template in my Canva. So I'll just copy that template over, and then I'll put the new image there, and I'll put a new background paper that matches there, and I'll change out the wording that's on there. But the fact that the oval is there, and I'll change out the color that's in the oval, like that image, it's a variation. Like, here's a version from another class I did. I think this was last year's. But instead of an oval, it's a rectangle. But the concept is still kind of the same. I'll just change out the paper that's in the background there. So I just kind of have some fun with it. And then if I'm like, I want something different, I want to go change it up, then I just build something new. I haven't had a Jesmonite. That's very close. So it's Gesmonite, Jesmonite. What is it? Ooh, it's cool. So I saw this when I was in Germany at Frankfurt at Creative Worlds. That was the first time no, I take that back. I had heard about it a year ago. It was launched, somebody had put it in the new product showcase at Creativation 2024. And I did a little bit of research on it. Then I took a class on it when I was in Frankfurt at Creative World, which is like Creativation, but in Europe. So I had gone to that one. And then the company came to Creativation and had a booth this year. Basically what it is it's a two-part mix. Think of it like resin. I have a part A and a part B. The part A is a powder. The part B is water. You mix them together and it's kind of like making concrete, for the lack of a better term. And you mix it together and then you pour it into molds and you let it sit and air dry. And you can add colors to it. You can add bits and pieces of the previous Jesmonite things that you've done. So you can make it kind of mosaic-y, or there's a name for it. I cannot remember the name of it. Shout it out if you know what the heck it is. You know, like you have the little bits of stuff inside of it. It's not mosaic, but there's a name for that. And it's just, perimenopause is awesome, let me tell you. So you let it cure and then you pop it out. And basically it's like, you know, when you have resin and you can make all kinds of cool shapes with resin, but it's more like you're doing the part A and part B to make stone. And it's hard. And I don't have one here with me because it's in the back room. I got two kits, one from the class I did in Germany, and then one, they gave me a kit at Creativation. If you want to see more and learn more about it, go to my Creativation videos on my YouTube channel. And it's on day 2. We were the first booth that we went to. And they gave us a whole demo. She explains everything. We do it all together. You can see, and it's whatever mold you put it in, that's what it sets. And then you pop it out of the silicone mold. So there's cups, there's coasters, there's bowls, there's little trinket containers. There's all kinds of fun stuff. Terrazzo, that's it. Thank you. Haha, I knew that. Thank you, Susan. That's exactly what that is. Yeah, so you can take all the little bits and pieces of the previous, like, because there's always like little flaky parts that kind of fall off of it. And so you can have a little stash of those, and then you can mix that in when you have the mixture. And we were just using like a popsicle stick to mix it all together. It was really quite easy. Do you print full page or do you get a border? So do I have a paper? There is a border, because there's no way to print full page from a printer. At least I haven't figured out how to do that. So yeah, they're always, and I don't have a cardstock handy to show you. No, because I cut them out. Well, maybe stashed up here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Haha. So yeah, it has a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of a border. Just a little bit of smidge of a border. It's not that big of a deal. So when I go in and cut it, I just cut that little excess off and I cut the side off, and then I have almost the entire page. But yeah, this is what a full page would look like when you would cut it out, when you would print it out. Not bad, right? Pretty good. Pretty good. Do your kids give you project ideas to create? Well, my daughter is always like, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. So, yes and no. When they were littler, it was more like we were going to an event, or we had a thing, or we did something. And so I was like, oh, well, let's make something for that thing or that event or whatever. My oldest, no, he's not really into the art scene at all. He did for a while. He got kind of into some fun stuff for a little while. My middle one likes to do all things drawing and digital art. So he's got like one of those writing tablets, and he just does his own thing now. My youngest, my daughter, she loves everything. So she's always super excited when I come home from all of the different conferences, or when a box shows up from a company and she's like, oh, what'd you get this time? So, and then she'll do something. I'm like, that's a great idea. Or she'll mention something, or we're driving in the car to go to school and we'll talk about, like, she is my person to like bounce ideas off. She's 12 and she's amazing. And she and I will just have chit chat conversations about the next thing. She's like, well, try this? How about if you did that? So she's all in the bubble. She absolutely loves it. Do they inspire? No, it's more conversations and then, talking to them. So yeah, I guess pretty much she helps me inspire, because she loves doing all the stuff. And she comes to my in-person retreat and she's my assistant. She helps me do the kits. My oldest son works for me. He helps me put all the kits together. He also helps me do the card swaps, and he helps me do some of the emails. So it's a big family event. It's a whole big family thing. And my daughter's like, I want to work for you this summer. I'm like, that's fine. I'm happy to pay you. I'm happy to help you. She's like, I want to help put the kits together. Great. I need help kitting, because there's a lot of stuff. There's like 10 classes in our retreat, and it's coming from me as an educator, and I got Jennifer Perkins, and I got Amanda Stevens. And so she sees it. What if we did this stuff with this? Or what if we did this stuff with that? And so she's awesome. I love her. Who would you love to craft with in real life? Anybody who's a good conversationalist. I love having fun. I love happy. I love excitement. When I'm in there creating, I do my best creativity when I'm happy. Like there's definitely a thing when you need to create because you got to get the venting and the art therapy. But while creating, it does make me happy. So I like to surround myself with people when I'm creating with them, with other people that are happy. And, hopefully my happiness can spread to their happiness. So I don't have a singular person I would want to art with or create with. I love to create with everybody. And I just love the joy in the room when you're creating. That's the best part. And just the fun conversations that come with that. When can I come over to craft? Well, you can come to my retreat. We'll be all creating together. It's just outside of Austin, Texas, at the end of July, beginning of August. What is your beverage of choice in crafting? I have two. So in the morning, it depends on the time of day. I have one of those like fizzy things that's got vitamin B's and all that kind of fun stuff. I am not a coffee drinker. I have never been a coffee drinker. I don't even like the smell of coffee. It's So that is what I am drinking right now. I know we're almost into afternoon. I'm on my second round. Right now, I think I have blackberry is the flavor. But it's all one of those like the liquid IV kind of things. It's got a little hint of caffeine from some ginseng, but it's got a lot of good B vitamins in it. And then I switch over to a Coke Zero partway throughout the day. My husband's Dr. Pepper. I'm Coke Zero. And we always tell each other what our day's been like based on how many sodas we've had in the day. Is it been a 3 soda day? Oh, it's been a bad day. That's our vice. I mean, I have a few different vices, but yeah. And then in the evening, a glass of wine. My wine of choice is a Pinot Grigio. So those are like my three. I try not to do the wine thing too often. If it's a really wild night, then I'll hit a margarita. But usually it's just one of those two things. So it's or just water. Yeah. And if it's cold, then I will go with a tea. Thank you everybody for coming. I absolutely loved having you. Make sure you say hi if you do one of my cards, or if you do just I don't even have to use my principal for crying out loud, but if you do the shape of the card, tag me, Erin Reed. I think I'm in there as Erin Reed, not Erin Reed Makes, but tag me. I'd love to see the creation you use with the Fun Fold. It's just so easy. It's like a little card in one, and you could change it up. You don't have to make this a rectangle. You could make this a square. You can have all kinds of fun. I'm sure you've seen variations of this, and I love it because it's got so many fun panels. You can put stuff there too. So tag me in the Facebook group. Message me if you have any questions or concerns, and I'd love to see you at my retreat this summer. All the information is over on my website, erinreedmakes.com, and have an amazing time at the retreat. Bye, everybody.